What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City transfer update, fresh from Manchester City's very good win away from home against Everton. We're here to talk all things transfers before we have build-up to the Sheffield United game at the weekend. And with the January transfer window literally around the corner, we're going to be doing daily Manchester City transfer updates from January 1st to keep you guys up to date with here on YouTube with all the latest Manchester City transfer news every single day. Do subscribe. It is free to subscribe on that push to 33,000 subscribers, now less than 700 subs away, so any help towards that would be fab. Also, don't forget, social media links there in the description if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. My email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Do get your thoughts in the comments below. Do leave a thumbs up as well. 200 likes is the aim. Finally, I wanted to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Football Prizes. Go and check out their latest prize. It's a signed Phil Foden shirt. There's 165 places to be entered into the draw. It's going very fast, so you've got to be quick. The link is in the description. It's £3.95 to enter. There are 13 instant prizes also to be won, so do go and check it out. You do have to be quick as well. And I do want to say a big thank you to Football Prizes for sponsoring today's video. So we're going to crack on with this video. We're going to start off with the outs, and we've got the very latest on Joel Ndala. Now, RC Strasbourg Alsace over in France, they're interested in signing Ndala on loan from Manchester City in January. That's according to L'Equipe. It's not the first time that we've heard Ndala could be available for loan from Manchester City. I've heard little murmurs that Ndala could potentially be available for a permanent transfer. If there is a permanent transfer, City will, of course, get a release clause included on that. Very interesting. I'm expecting Manchester City, if there are any high-quality young players, if they want them to get any first-team action, their futures will get sorted in the January winter transfer window. And, of course, any players that aren't getting the regular minutes that are required at their clubs that they're currently out on loan at, Manchester City will assess again in January to recall them and send them somewhere else where potentially they will get more minutes and more starts, which would be best for their development. So I will keep my eyes on all things Manchester City youngsters. Moving on to a player in the first team squad, though, Kalvin Phillips is going to be a player I'm going to be speaking a lot about in this January transfer window. The Daily Telegraph, they say Newcastle United, they're willing to rival Juventus to try and sign Kalvin Phillips on loan from Manchester City in January. The word coming in from Newcastle is they regard Kalvin Phillips as a top priority. They need a central midfielder. They need more reinforcements. Their squad's starting to get stretched thin. They've been put under pressure. They need to dip into the market, and if it was up to me and I was loaning Kalvin Phillips with an option to buy, I think I'd prefer to send him to Turin, to Juventus, rather than to Newcastle, just mainly because you don't want to be aiding and strengthening our Premier League rivals. Yeah, Kalvin Phillips won't be able to play against us for this season. Manchester City play Newcastle pretty early in January, so the chances of a transfer being sorted for that by then is pretty unlikely. So it's not going to have any knock-on effect for Manchester City, but if they do take up that option to buy from the future, Manchester City could be bitten, basically, by Kalvin Phillips. And it's things we've seen with Alexander Zinchenko, with Gabriel Jesus, with Cole Palmer as well. Manchester City need to learn that lesson. So Newcastle, to me, they've got to offer Manchester City more than what Juventus are willing to offer. And the fact that Juventus want a loan with that option to buy, if City do want to go down that loan route, I would only loan to Newcastle in January if they put in an obligation to buy. Even better, I'd be pushing for that permanent transfer. Give us 45 million quid. Let us get our money back for Kalvin Phillips and let us move on from there. That would be my thoughts. We'll see what happens. Moving on to the ins, youngster Finley Gorman, got the latest on him. Now, Fabrizio Romano, he's confirmed that Finley Gorman has signed his contract at Manchester City from Leeds United, according to his understanding. Medical has been passed, long-term deal has been signed and will be made official very soon. He's a 15-year-old. He will join Manchester City in the academy, and compensation will be needed to be paid by Manchester City to Leeds United. So I wanted to warmly welcome Finley to Manchester City and wishing him the very best of luck here. Very exciting opportunity for him, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring to Manchester City Football Club. Now, moving on to Savinho. Fabrizio Romano has also been speaking about him. He's currently out on loan at Girona from ESTAC Troyes, both then clubs part of the City Football Group, the CFG, and Manchester City have been impressed with his progress that Savinho has been making at Girona, and Manchester City want to reward him for that, and next season want him at Manchester City. City want him to stay in the CFG, they want him at Manchester City. This, though, would be more of a summer transfer rather than a winter-January transfer. We'll see what happens. Now, moving on, and this is absolutely massive, and I know you guys have been asking to speak about it, so strap yourselves in. Here we go. New name, Claudio Echeverri of River Plate. His contract, it's up in December 2024. He's publicly announced that he will not be signing a new deal, and everybody was expecting him to go to Barcelona. Now, he has said that at the start of the season that he is open to leaving in 2024, and so he could be leaving in January. It's believed that he wants to see out the remainder of his contract at River Plate. So Manchester City, who are interested, are happy to pay his release clause and loan him back to River Plate to see out the rest of the year for 2024. A lot like we did with Julian Alvarez, where there will be an option where Manchester City, if they want Echeverri to come to the club earlier than next winter, next December, next January, whenever it would be, Man City will have that option to bring him to the club in the summer, and we took that option up with Julian Alvarez, so that could happen here as well, a very similar transfer. Now, as I said, Barcelona were heavily linked. Chelsea, their name was getting mentioned. Manchester City's name was also getting mentioned for the 17-year-old Argentinian attacking midfielder who was getting labelled the new Lionel Messi, and I'm not a real fan when people compare other players who are trying to make their own identity on football by comparing them to some of the best that the world has ever seen in terms of football. Now, moving on to some reliability on this story. Cesar Luis Merlo, who we dealt with a lot during the Julian Alvarez saga of him joining Manchester City, and every single time Cesar Luis Merlo was spot on the money. He said Manchester City, they're prepared to offer that release clause, 25 million euros for Echeverri to come to the club. River Plate have said they want to keep him at the club. Man City are happy for him to take a loan, and it is, or it remains unclear whether it would be a 6 or 12-month loan. We're waiting for the finer details on that. Now, the secret scout and Fabrizio Romano have also confirmed that Echeverri is close to joining Manchester City. Fabrizio Romano has also confirmed since then that it would be the same deal as Julian Alvarez. He signs in January, stays out on loan at River Plate. It probably will be a 12-month loan. Man City will have the option to cut that loan short after 6 months for him to come in the summer and have pre-season with Manchester City and push on from there. Now, looking a little bit more into the player himself, he's known as El Diablito in Argentina, which translates roughly to Little Devil in reference to his apparently devilish dribbling skills in very tight spaces. Now, he would be a player who would really prosper at Manchester City and under Pep Guardiola as well. So it's very much looking like Echeverri will become Manchester City's first, maybe only signing of January, who we may not even see in the first team squad until maybe in the summer, maybe not until 2025. We'll see. Now, Ed Aarons at The Guardian has said that Manchester City have now agreed to meet that 25 million euro release clause, and he will stay at River Plate on loan. So lots of reliability put on there. But one thing we do know, Claudio Echeverri very close to joining Manchester City. Fabrizio Romano has stopped short of giving the here we go. He says next time he gets an update could well be the point where he says here we go, and then we know he'll become a Manchester City player. Now, since that story has come out, we've got the latest on Valentin Barco, another top talent coming out of Argentina. And with Echeverri set to sign for Manchester City, various smaller journalists, which have been confirmed by Jack Gorham, who's pretty reliable with City information, they're saying that Valentin Barco to Manchester City is now impossible. No one's really said why it's impossible. I'm not too sure. I do know there's plenty of interest in Valentin Barco. Brighton and Hove Albion, they're interested. They want to bring Barco in January. Chelsea, Strasbourg, Lazio, their names all been chucked out there for Valentin Barco as well as many more as well. So I don't know. I'm waiting for clarification on why that would be and why City aren't going to make the move, because it was looking like City did want to bring in a left-sided defender, something we are pretty short on, and you've got an upcoming prospect in Valentin Barco who you can bring in for, around 20 million quid. he's a player that I reckon in 12 to 24 months' time probably going to be worth 60, 70, 80 million pounds. So to me, it's a no-brainer. It smells of an Enzo Fernandez situation 2.0, where you've got a top prospect and you say, we want them, not you, and they go somewhere else, and then you're crying out for that position in a year or two's time, and you've got to pay big money to make it happen, and we end up walking away, and you never see these players at Manchester City. To me, if you rate Valentin Barco enough, which City clearly do, why would you not go out there and make it happen? Why not have him sign for a CFG club? Why not have him sign for Girona or ESTAC Troyes and go down that route and say, you know what, if he is of value to Manchester City, he's already in the CFG, you can bring him in like City are contemplating with Savinho. They may do that. We'll have to wait and see. My instinct telling me here, though, I think Echeverri will become a Manchester City player, and I think Valentin Barco, City, are going to walk away, and we may not speak of him ever again. We'll see the ruthlessness of the transfer market. So there we go. That has been today's update. If you did enjoy the video, please do leave a thumbs up. 200 likes is the aim. Also, don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Aiming for 33k subscribers. Remember, we are doing daily Manchester City transfer updates from January 1st throughout the whole January winter transfer window for you guys to enjoy here on YouTube. So do subscribe. It is free. Social media links, they're in the description if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Finally, I want to say a big shout out to today's video sponsor, Football Prizes. As I said, you can go and check out the signed Phil Foden shirt. There's 165 places on the draw. It's going very fast. It's £3.95 to enter. The link is in the description. Do go and check it out. There's 13 instant prizes as well to be won for you guys, so do go and check it out. It is well worth it. There's plenty of other prizes on there as well that you can go and check out too. And I want to say a big thank you to Football Prizes for sponsoring today's video. And I'll see you all again real soon for the next Manchester City videos. We have build up now to the Sheffield United game in the Premier League. Another big football game coming for Manchester City. Content coming thick and fast. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.